Las Vegas. There's no place in the world like it. A 24-hour town of lights, sounds, and spectacles everywhere. It's Sin City, a mecca for gambling, extravagance, and excess. Yet, it's a place of paradox. Las Vegas is located right in the middle of a barren and brutal desert. How did such a hostile landscape like this give rise to one of the most vibrant cities in the world?
Traditionally in America, the West, and especially the desert, are really viewed as a blank slate where people can kind of create their own story. I think they've always had that freedom in Las Vegas.
I believe that the desert has significantly influenced the way Las Vegas has developed. It's a sort of a tabula rasa, so you can build anything here. But on the other hand, there is a magnificence and a grandeur to this part of the desert that I think has also had an impact on Las Vegas as well. It's people crossed the Mississippi River and headed west, and they could see absolutely forever. It instilled in them a certain idea of optimism and possibility where previously none had existed before. And that kind of emptiness of the desert gives that promise, which is why Las Vegas could not be built anywhere else in the United States. You couldn't build Las Vegas in Mississippi or New Jersey, as they've attempted to do. You could only build it in the Mojave Desert. It's what we call antediluvian. It's just like before the flood. It is so dramatically primal in its qualities. Visually, it's stunning at any time of day.
The spirit of this city, its ambition, glamour, and extravagance comes alive on this 3.5-mile-long road known as the Las Vegas Strip. It's like a mirage, a siren song luring many with the promise of instant wealth.
Everything about Las Vegas is clearly displayed on the Las Vegas Strip. It's gaudy, it's glitzy, it's exaggerated, it doesn't fit in, it doesn't make sense.
It seems like every story about every casino started out with a guy who had a dream and a vision and somehow got it done. There's also the belief that every gambler has that as long as they have $1 left in their pocket, they're not done. They're still in the game. And I think Las Vegas is a place where that really comes out.
Las Vegas lured in those with big ideas and big wallets. Here, anything goes. What started as a small gaming getaway soon grew into a multi-billion-dollar vacation destination.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Oh, thank you. Well, the reason why Las Vegas became the country's gambling capital is really interesting, and it mostly comes down to entrepreneurship and people being able to do what they want to do. Anybody who had the money to come and build a big hotel, they would allow to have a casino too. So pretty much they were allowed to create an industry down here. When gambling was first legalized in Nevada in 1931, Las Vegas was really kind of a fringe destination. The reason why gambling became so acceptable in Las Vegas is because the operators took it out of its urban context. They took it out of the back alley crap games and the slot machines in cigar stores, and they made it part of a real vacation experience, which made it seem much more sophisticated and much more glamorous than it had been before. casino gambling has always been very much about the image and about the experience rather than any real product. Gambling is obviously a big part of it, but it's certainly not the only part of it.
In recent years, the skyline of Las Vegas has shifted, taking on the shapes of other cities, other cultures. Ironically, by recreating other famous landmarks, Las Vegas put itself on the map.
Now, since the size of gambling and the scale of it has gotten so big, they've made the building the star. And I think from there, a lot of the casino owners saw, this makes money, let's do this. It's very interesting that many casinos are now recreating cities, whole cities, and even maybe whole countries and whole regions of the world.
What's happened in recent years with the construction of hotels like New York, New York, Paris, Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, the Venetian, is that these are hotels that try to create an immersive experience. The attention to visual detail at Luxor, that you are actually in Egypt itself. I think nostalgically, what New York does is it appeals to a certain sense of theatrics. And the beauty of the architecture is that all of the buildings on the Strip, when you see them from the side, they're all lined up, again, like a facade. I think the view from the Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas is a better view than the one you get in Paris. I can look not only to the desert beyond, but below me I can see northern Italy, I can see ancient Rome, I can see all the way to Tahiti, and you can't do that from the one in Paris. No matter where they look, they will see that detail that reminds them that you are there. So we're not in Las Vegas visiting Paris. We have actually been transported into that world of Paris itself. That's the ultimate in fantasy architecture. So if you want to convince people that they are a part of the place and not just looking at a facade from the outside, you have to give a much higher degree of attention to the details.
Casinos compete in a fierce rivalry, doing whatever it takes to steal the spotlight. The goal: build it bigger, better, and more outrageous than ever.
Back in the 1940s and 1950s, they had pool wars, where each casino tried to get the biggest pool, swimming pool on the Las Vegas Strip. Then you had the sign wars, where each casino tried to get the biggest neon sign. They also had the headliner wars, where they would each try to outbid each other to get headliners. So they've always been trying to outdo each other. Only within the past 15 years has it become that the buildings themselves have been an area where they try to make them bigger and better.
There is a tremendous competition by the casinos in terms of the architecture. It's always a game of one-upsmanship. I mean, that's the American way, isn't it? You know, keeping up with it. No, we don't keep up with the Joneses. We keep up with and then exceed the Joneses.
Las Vegas is more than casinos. It's a thriving city evolving at a breakneck speed. Here, everyone is from somewhere else, creating a shifting community unlike any other.
Everywhere you look, it's a reflection of something else. And that has affected the community in a lot of ways. It affects our political structure. It affects the sort of cultural base that Las Vegas is. It explains, too, the fact that Las Vegas as a community is very fractured. And it's always been that way. So there is no sense of a Las Vegas community here that you would find in a lot of older cities in the United States. It still has a quality of transience to it. It is constantly redefining itself in that way.
Because a lot of people in Las Vegas, if you ask them where they're from, they'll say they're from someplace else. Like me, I probably wouldn't say I'm from Las Vegas. So it's really interesting. What they want to do is change that so people say, I'm from Las Vegas and I'm proud of it.
The city continues to grow. Every day, construction creeps deeper into the desert. It's as if there's no limit in sight.
I think the growth of Las Vegas is really based on the same kind of land speculation that fueled the growth of the casinos themselves. And it really is the same mentality of let's build something even bigger and something better. Let's build nicer houses on more land, a little bit further out, a little bit quieter. So I think that's really fueled the expansion of Las Vegas and the suburban sprawl that has happened in the Las Vegas Valley.
There's an abrupt line between the urban residential development and the native Mojave Desert. You'll go right from brick wall to all of a sudden you see these creosote bushes and the native plants. When you're out in the desert, the lack of noise is beautiful. You might hear an occasional bird chirp or maybe a cricket or a cicada. You'll hear the wind just lightly rustling through the shrubs or trees depending on where you're at. It's very rare that you'll hear an airplane or a jet or a car.
For those who live in Las Vegas, there's no forgetting that you're in the desert. That means hostile conditions and scorching heat.
During the summer, nobody in Vegas is able to forget the fact that we live in a desert. When it's 110, 120 degrees out, it's absolutely inescapable. And you wonder, why on God's earth did anybody ever get the idea of living in the desert like the Mojave Desert? Out here, you're just out in the desert, and there's really nothing else. And you have a sense of openness that you don't have in other places.
Coming out to southern Nevada in the Mojave Desert, where you can see for 100 miles away, it not only instills a kind of infinity of space, but also an infinity of opportunities and possibilities.
Las Vegas has mastered the art of drawing attention to itself with extravagance and imagination. In this desert, making the impossible happen is a daily occurrence.
So when you look at the dancing fountains in front of the Bellagio Hotel, you see two things displayed there. The theatrical dramas that many of the hotel casinos have recreated in front of their places on the Strip, and also an extravagant use of our most precious resource, water itself.
I think the water situation in Las Vegas is an example of reality confronting the image and the perception. On one hand, you have the perception that yes, it's a desert oasis, we've got all these golf courses and all that, and people can reshape the desert and have fountains and things like that. On the other hand, you have the objective reality of the fact the American West is a very arid place without a lot of water, and we've got to find more water.
The most precious commodity in a desert has to be water. I mean, you can hit the mother lode of gold, but if you don't have any water to get you out of the desert, it doesn't do you any good. Water's like gold, and it's getting very scarce. This valley is facing some significant environmental issues with regards to water.
Water certainly is going to be critical. I don't see how we can sustain the rampant growth that has been taking place. It's going to have to slow down in order to provide sufficient water to meet all of the needs. We certainly have some watering restrictions as far as irrigation goes now. People with certain addresses can only irrigate on certain days. So all of these environments would not be here without water.
Living in Las Vegas, people do forget that they're living in the desert. In part because we've created this artificial oasis environment around us. But you have to remember, they're looking at fountains going off and reproductions of ancient Rome or Greece, They're standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, so it's a little difficult to make that sort of visual connection that where they're standing is indeed the desert.
As night falls on the parched landscape, Las Vegas undergoes an amazing transformation. A barrage of light breathes life into the desert.
I think the interesting thing about Las Vegas being so bright, having so many lights, it just means that there's always something going on. Even at 3 or 4 in the morning, if you're driving down the strip or driving near downtown, it still looks like it's the middle of the day and there's tons of things going on. You'll find lots of people and lots of traffic.
I think this is the place where they try new things. It's just one of those, it's almost like an experimental city for the future. Light is art here. There's so many different forms of lighting nowadays, like neon. There is an art to bending it, and designing it. Neon, there used to be 2 colors, rose and white. Back in the day, now they got every color you can imagine. You always see people gawking at the lights when they come into a casino. That's the first thing they look at. If there's fast-moving lights, they'll change their mood. That's what draws people still to Vegas, I think, is a lot of just the lights and the glitter. And, the importance to me is it's my job. It keeps me busy. I feel real special about working on signs here, and because that's one of the things about people in other states. They see this as part of Vegas, and I'm just basically keeping part of Vegas going, and I'm kind of proud of doing this stuff. This is basically pretty important. That's a big thing in Vegas, and you feel like part of it.
Amidst the glitz, glamour, and gaming of the desert's night sky, the Las Vegas nightlife reaches a fever pitch.
I really think the allure of Las Vegas is the fact that it's a place where people are allowed to be somebody else. They can show parts of themselves that they don't necessarily show in their hometown. And I think a lot of that isn't necessarily because of anything that happens in Las Vegas. It's just because people bring that attitude.
Now you have that beacon light, that beam emanating from the top of Luxor Pyramid that just cuts right through the middle of that. So it has this quality of being like a moth to a flame.
The pioneer spirit will always thrive in Las Vegas. Built on imagination and fueled by fantasy, Las Vegas continues to lure people from around the world. The promise of adventure, wealth, and never-before-seen extravagance make it a city unlike any other.
I think one of the reasons why you always see Las Vegas home for the biggest and the best is it's really a deeply ingrained part of the culture here. And after a while, it becomes self-perpetuating. And there was this idea that if you came to Las Vegas and maybe you didn't have a lot of money, if you had a really good idea and stuck with it, you could make it happen. And I think a lot of the people who came here to vacation picked up on that and said, well, if this guy started out by sitting down, his car broke down, he's sitting down by the side of the road, and he gets an idea for a hotel, maybe I could come here and I can have fun gambling and I can make my dreams come true.
Living in Las Vegas is like living in a David Lynch movie. You just really never know what the truth is. But in the past several years, Las Vegas has come to represent the city that is probably the most American city of all. And I think that what makes us an all-American city is everything that Americans believe they are. We are entrepreneurs, we're free thinkers, we have a certain spirit of experimentation and adventure. Las Vegas is built upon those very same principles. It still harks back to that frontier spirit that we're going to try anything. And if it works, fine. If it doesn't, we'll try something else.